Step and handle. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Handle. Oh, well done. Yes, yeah.
Gary, firstly, how important are development clinics like these to the Sharks?
For us as a coaching group and as a playing group, they're critically important for us. I mean, and not only is it a wonderful opportunity for us to get out of Durban and come down to the South Coast, and spread our wings, so to speak, but I think it's also about, being authentic as well in terms of being able to grow the game in KwaZulu-Natal. And, these kids are so enthusiastic. They love coming down here. And I genuinely think the players enjoy spending time with them. So from our point of view, it's a really important exercise and something we actually enjoy doing.
How have the players enjoyed this trip down to the South Coast, and what are the main boxes you hoping to tick on this training camp?
Firstly, I think Quint, they've really enjoyed it. I think it's quite a nice break to get out and, as I say, see other parts of the province as well, and get to meet all the rugby fans down on the South Coast, and there's a lot of them, as you know. But I think from our point of view, I mean, this is a camp that we needed to get some really hard work done. It was time where we needed to spend away. We needed to set our sights on the importance of this year's Currie Cup competition, and put our stall out in terms of how we want to perform after what was a very disappointing Super Rugby. So it was important to get away without having the pressures of a game this weekend, and get some pretty hard work done, which we've been able to do over the last 3 or 4 days.
What are your thoughts on the balance of the squad, given that so many experienced players are on BOK duty?
We've known that obviously a lot of the guys are going to go to Springbok duty, so our planning and preparation, I think, has been quite good with that. I'm excited about the fact that it gives other guys an opportunity who've been knocking at the door from a Super Rugby point of view. It gives them a real opportunity now to get some long starts and some pretty long game time as well. So we've obviously got a couple of new recruits in Michael and Joe and Philip that have come in. So I think they're all going to make a big difference, and I'm really excited about this campaign.
Two of the key areas in the upcoming Currie Cup campaign will be the front row and the halfback combinations. With the Beast, Bismarck and Yanni du Plessis moving on from their time in Durban, especially now, what are your views on the front row stocks, and do you think players will up their game to make those positions their own?
It's really interesting that you ask that question, because when almost legends of the game like Beast and Yanni move on, beg your pardon, when they're still here, the frank honesty is that players who play behind them probably know they're not going to get a lot of game time. So now that they've moved on, and it's sad that they've moved on, but I mean, it happens everywhere in the world, it's a real opportunity for guys like Mondi and Kyle Coops and Franco to get a real opportunity now to put their hand up and show that they can be the next Bismarck, that they can be the hooker at the Sharks for the next 5 to 6 years. So it opens up really exciting opportunities, for these young players. And we recruited them a few years ago because of their talent, and they are good enough. So it's going to be a great test now. But now for the players, it gives them almost a breath of fresh air, because they know that they're genuinely competing for a position that they can play in.
The same thing with Kobus Reinach and Pat Lambie unavailable. How big of a benefit is it to have experienced guys like Michael Claessens and Joe Peterson there to fill those roles, and how key are they going to be to your title aspirations?
I think they're going to be critically important. I think, again, we talk about the spine of the team, to have as much experience as you can at 2, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12 and 15. And, in getting guys like Philip and Joe and Michael and Wandile and those guys who we've brought in now has made a huge difference to us from our point of view, to bring in older campaigners, experienced guys who've been there, played really well in Currie Cup competitions, a couple of test caps as well. And so it's going to make a huge difference to us from that point of view, and really hope that the experience will go a long way.
One of the main talking points has been the captaincy. Who are you looking at in the captaincy role, and when will a decision be made on that?
think we'll probably only make a decision in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, we've got Marco captained the team at the end of the Super Rugby competition. We're waiting on Dacey's fitness. Jean Dacey's a contender. Odwa's, been around and will most probably be able to retain his place quite consistently. So we're lucky. We've got some older hairs, but we'll probably not rush to make that decision until a couple of weeks' time.
And on finally, you've said you want to play an exciting brand of rugby. What prompted that decision to, and obviously fitness is vitally important if you're going to play that type of game.
Look, I mentioned the way we wanted to play the game because at the beginning of Super Rugby, because the Super Rugby competition, really interesting stat over the last 10 years of the Super Rugby competition, the team that has won it, one of the things that has come out quite clearly is it happens to be the team that scored the most tries. Look, we want to score tries. We want to play a brand of rugby that is exciting, but first and foremost, we want to win, and we didn't do that well enough in the Super Rugby competition. So our focus is going to being pragmatic, being sensible and playing, a sensible game of rugby, a plan of rugby, and hopefully with that, if our plans go according to plan, then we're going to give ourselves enough opportunities to be able to score tries. But first and foremost, we need to get back to proper winning ways as soon as possible.
Gary, thanks a lot for your time. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Anytime. Thanks.